Well, you know more than me, Juliana, so I'm gonna stop talking.
Okay, thanks. So one of the sections of this project is introducing you all to the Oceti Sakowin Essential Understandings. You can find it. This is the link where you can, one of the links where you can find the Oceti Sakowin Essential Understandings. It's at the South Dakota Tribal Relations site. Okay, so the Oceti Sakowin Essential Understandings are available for anybody to use, OSUs. You can find them at the links that Maria will post or has posted at the South Dakota Tribal Relations page or on the Lakota site. Either one, they're going to be the same. So it looks like this. They've been updated. So this is the 2018 version of it. There's a history of it here when it started in 2008 to 2010. The reason is living in South Dakota, it was giving elders a chance to put all of their, knowledge down in writing for teachers and educators to use in their classroom and try to understand, the Lakota people that live in South Dakota. So this is OSUs at a glance. The Oceti Sakowin Essential Understandings. Well, let me back up. Oceti Sakowin means the 7 council fires. Here at the beginning, Oceti Sakowin, and then being 7 council fires refers collectively to the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota people of South Dakota. And to make it a little easier, we refer to it as the OSCU. This is it at a glance. There are 7 understandings. There's lands and environment, identity and resiliency, culture and language, kinship and harmony, oral tradition and story, sovereignty and treaties, way of life and development. So these are work groups for the state of South Dakota have been working on putting together actually some revisions to it. Not that anything's changing a lot, but adding more resources for teachers to use and educators to use. Yeah, so if we go into Lakota, this is where I'm at. Okay, so it's not necessarily the page that the site that Maria sent, but it's the same. The Oceti Sakowin will still be the same. So it's on the Lakota site, and then Maria will go into one of the lessons in detail a little bit more, and show you how that's related to the lesson database that we're trying to make for this project. There are the different revisions in here, the videos on the Lakota site, our interviews of elders. A lot of the elders that are in the videos for the Oceti Sakowin project, Lakota project, aren't with us anymore. So they're really valuable, precious to us in South Dakota and anybody that knew the elders that are in the videos. But there is all of the interviews here that coincide with the Oceti Sakowin Essential Understandings, and they elaborate and talk a little bit more about what each standard is, and it's just a way to incorporate ways of knowing from these elders, and it's just a way to share their knowledge and experiences, not only with non-native teachers but with native teachers as well that didn't grow up immersed in culture. So yeah, there's some other resources on the internet. We can put those links. We'll share those links with you as well. Link that.
Can you share the more recent ones? I know they're in draft, but I found some things that you shared before, and they were really helpful because they gave real specific examples.
So the link that we're sharing is the South Dakota Tribal Relations.gov site, and it'll actually take you straight to the PDF. But if you go to the site itself, it looks like this. Within that, it's Indian education. I'm just going to walk you through it here so you all can find where to find this information. So, it is resources. So once you get here, there's OSU instructional resources. And in here, you can take a look at all of there's the full document, which is the PDF. There's a lesson plan template in there. While we're here, we might as well look at it, which includes the standard alignment and grade levels. And I know it, but it looks like that for the lesson plan template. Oh, there we are. And you all can get in there and you can click on that too. but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Okay, so there's the full document, the lesson plan template we just saw. If we go through here and you want to look at how they lined it up, and there's this alignment that has a for week 1 for lands and environment. So there's going to be a K5. So when you get in there, there's a variety of things. Let's do the younger kid version here.
Yeah, this is a lot more than there used to be, right?
Yeah, they've added, but yeah, each time you click on it, one of the weeks, it's gonna send you to, you're gonna get a video from the South Dakota Public Broadcasting, you're gonna get a Lakota lesson, and then you're gonna get an Alder video. So for each standard, they'll be in there for you to look at.
So this was done by PBS. That's pretty impressive. So it's not done by like me doing YouTube video on my phone. I didn't realize that. What other secrets do you have?
It was
Juliana?
the the planning committee contained the representative from South Dakota Public Broadcasting, and they actually have a lot of videos. So he was really helpful, interested in like making it accessible. But there's a lot of videos in the South Dakota Public Broadcasting as well. So we'll look at those. But this is the grade 6 through 8 lesson that goes with the land and environment. So there's I'm gonna click on it, but it's kind of acting glitchy. Like I said, it's PowerPoint on Lakota yucca. So the yucca plants that are out in the prairie that look like this, I learned as a child too that this is also used. We use this for shampoo when we and so this is, I'm just gonna click through it quickly. You all are welcome to go and spend some time in there and really click around and listen to it, watch it. But I'm just quickly going over it just so you know where it's at. You can push pause and get the URL on top if if we forget to enter it into the presentation. You can always go back and look at that. So those are the videos, and then this is the lesson or the instructions here, how to make it if you want to make it. And one of the things that, like, in our family, I mean, in other families too, I know we kind of talk about how our ancestors taught the colonizers or the Western explorers, the visitors, bathe and be clean and use these things to wash their hair and wash their bodies and keep themselves clean. And
Well,
it's really
certainly
important.
learn history about medieval Europe and that they didn't bathe that much. But I guess because I don't know why. I was going to say because it was super cold over there, but I guess it was super cold in South Dakota too. But I remember learning that in history. This is so cool. I had no idea that all of these resources were available, and they're really high quality too.
This is Dwayne Hollowhornberg. He's the last I remember he was at St. Francis School, but he is an elder that's still with us. So he's really called upon a lot to go and do speaking engagements and talk, and he travels all over the world. He's a fluent speaker too, so he's a treasure. But this is Dwayne. If you ever meet him, he's the nicest guy. Okay, so this link takes us to the video of Dwayne Hollowhorn Bear.
I had started to talk to you about a word that says Otiwote. Each one of us came into this world through the sacredness of water. When your mother's water breaks, then it is your time to come into this world. When that water touches this earth, and your afterbirth is ceremonially, spiritually taken care of in a proper way, you have a very deep connection with Makoche, the earth, Mother Earth. You have that connection with her. Otiwote talks about that little place where you were born, where your water touched the earth. This little rapid creek that goes through the beautiful Black Hills was Crazy Horse's Otiwote. He was born near Rapid Creek, here in the Black Hills. The stories of why and how he fought to keep the Black Hills are many. But the bottom spiritual line is his Otiwote. This was his location, his spiritual connection.
So you're welcome to finish watching that entire the video in its entirety, but that's an example of one of the videos from the OSCU resource that's on the Tribal Relations website. That was Lands and Environment, so that's how that video is incorporated, is because he talks about the land, the Makoche and water. Then there's identity and resiliency. So in each one you'll get, like I said, you'll get a PBS video that's related to that standard. You'll also get the lesson. There'll be something incorporated that has local language in it, and then there'll be another video from the Wolokota site with the teachings of our elders. That's what that's called. I was going to click on this one for y'all real quick, but this is a South Dakota Public Broadcasting video. I'm not going to play it right now, but you're welcome to go in and see it. But it's a really interesting. There's Timsila. That's wild turnips that we grow and harvest and braid and dry and use over the winter, use them all year long. And Kevin Locke was another elder that shared a lot, but he's no longer with us as well. But his video will be here. Kevin did a lot of presentations. He was a hoop dancer and he played the Lakota flute. And he's got music out there on YouTube and videos on YouTube too. If you want to see more of Kevin Locke, he's from Society Rock.
This is so cool. I mean, I knew about the OSCUs, of course, for a long time, and I had seen the PDF that gave the standards, but I had no idea that there was this amount of stuff available for teachers. So that's really cool. And it's all free.
And then
right?
it's all free. We can also, if there's a way, if people are, if folks are really creative and they want to, as far as OSCUs and the Library of Congress project that we're doing here with Native veterans, if there's the way the OSCUs are set up and then the way the resources are set up through tribal relations or through Wolokota, we could like mirror that, use something, not necessarily use all the material if it's not relevant, but use the same format or, link them to each other. So it's always good to know where it's at. That way, if you want to, do a lesson and you want to refer to something and not necessarily show all of the parts, you know where it's at. I mean, and that's I think that's key, is just knowing where to find it and knowing that it's out there. That's important. But in terms of the Oceti Sakowin Essential Understandings, the entire document's online in a PDF. It's free. I just flashed on the screen when I explained it a little. I just showed it briefly.
Did you want to show the North Dakota one too for just a minute?
There's also North Dakota Essential Understandings. You know what? And if you go to the Wolokota site, actually, or if you go to the home link on the Wolokota site, it'll see visit our North Dakota sister site, teaching of our elders. So you can open that up and it takes you to the North Dakota Native American Essential Understandings, which are developed similarly to the Oceti Sakowin Essential Understandings. The only difference, the biggest difference for that, the two sets of understandings, is in South Dakota. In the state of South Dakota, we have Dakota, Lakota, and Lakota people, which are all, we all speak the same language and the dialects are different, but we're all from the same 7 council fires. So we're, all similar. And it's like we're from the same tribal nations. Like, we're connected like that. In North Dakota, it's a little different because North Dakota, you have not just the Lakota or Dakota at the bottom of the state, There's also Mandan, Hidatsa, Rikara, Chippewa, Ojibwe. There are just different tribes in North Dakota, so it was a little different to try to put them all in one essential understanding. So it's broader and it's not specific to any one tribe in North Dakota, let's just say that. So it's called the Native American Essential Understandings in North Dakota. The first essential understanding is sacred relatives. The second, learning and storytelling. Like I said, they're broad. Sharing and generosity, which cover, all the tribes have that, and and it shows, how that, it comes from all the tribes. And one of the things that South Dakota, the Oceti Sakowin doesn't have, and we probably should, but they have an understanding for a sense of humor. I mean, because that's a big part of our culture is having a good sense of humor. Because like if you get teased or someone's teasing you, then that means you're, part of the family. So tribal policies, treaties, and sovereignty, all tribes, associate with that as well. So that's another broad understanding. Native contributions, it goes into like how the contributions to Native, society to society in general, and the contributions that each tribe has made to Native identity, and that's the last one. But there's seven there too for North Dakota, and these are just the posters right here, but they do have an entire site dedicated to. And theirs is located under the North Dakota Department of Public Instruction. And North Dakota also has a Senate bill that requires teachers to use the essential understandings. They actually have that Senate bill passed in North Dakota that we don't in South Dakota. But this talks more about Senate Bill 2304.
Wasn't it Ruth Buffalo who was really instrumental in getting that passed? Isn't she in the legislature?
Yeah, she sponsored it, I believe. That's the legislative term for it. Brought it forward and sponsored it. Yeah, it passed. And then these are the elder interviews for North Dakota. They have lesson plans as well. If you didn't see that in South Dakota, there's like an asynchronous Oceti Sakowin Essential Understanding training that people could take if they're teachers in the classroom. Anyway, there's some professional development and resources here for folks to look at. Lesson planning things here. Again, these could be linked to the Native American veterans. There's also a really cool graphic. These are posters or PDFs that are free and available for download as well. And there's a Venn diagram for the understandings as well. And I'm just pulling up this one so y'all can take a look at it, but now you know where it's at. If you want to find it, look at it, use it, examine it more closely. Yeah, so this is a really nice graphic that kind of, if you look at it, it kind of it's self-explanatory, how we have our sacred relatives encompasses everything that we do. Then we have storytelling, generosity, and sharing, sense of humor, tribal policies, Native contributions, and Native identity. And they aren't in any order of priority. I think they're just in an order so that they make sense. Sacred relatives and Native identity are kind of, and very important. So, but yeah, that's where they're at, and the links are. We'll provide some links to the link for this. If you look up, if you can see this right here, and you want to stop right there, would be https teachingsofourElders.org. That will take you to the homepage, and then you can click on the resources.
That is super cool. You can see links for all the websites Juliana mentioned below the video. In the next video, you can get a sneak peek at the game about Native American veterans we're making using primary sources.